What hidden wisdom lies within the hands of a woman who was entrusted with the secrets of healing and literacy in the heart of the Prophet's city? Let's find out about this interesting story in today's video. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, Naseeha Studio. Today we will be talking about one of the pious women of Islam, Shif Bint Abdullah. In the bustling streets of Medina, where the echoes of merchants' calls mingled with the melodic recitations of the Qur'an, lived a woman whose knowledge and wisdom were as revered as her character. Shif Bint Abdullah was no ordinary woman. She was a healer, a teacher, and a trusted companion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. But what about Shifa made her stand out in a society where women were often confined to the shadows? What secrets did she hold that earned her the trust of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself? The early life of Shif Bint Abdullah. In the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, during a time when knowledge was a closely guarded treasure and women's voices were often confined to the private sphere, Shif Bint Abdullah was born into the noble tribe of Quraysh. Her full name was Shif Bint Abdullah ibn ʿAbd Shams, and she grew up in an environment where her innate curiosity and intelligence set her apart from others. Shifa's lineage, rooted in the prestigious Quraysh tribe, came with a blend of nobility, honor, and responsibility. The Quraysh were known not only for their leadership in trade and politics, but also for their influence in religious and cultural matters. It was within this context that Shifa was raised, and from a young age, she exhibited qualities that would later define her as one of the most respected women in early Islamic history. Her father, Abdullah, was a man of integrity and wisdom, and he recognized early on that his daughter was no ordinary child. Unlike many fathers of his time, Abdullah believed in the importance of education for all his children, regardless of their gender. He ensured that Shifa received an education, which was a privilege rarely afforded to women in pre-Islamic Arabia. Under his guidance, Shifa learned the arts of reading and writing, skills that were not only rare among women, but also highly valued in a society where oral tradition was the dominant form of communication. Shifa's mother played an equally important role in her upbringing. A woman of profound knowledge and spiritual depth, she imparted to Shifa the ancient art of ruqyah. This traditional form of healing involved the recitation of prayers and specific verses to protect against physical and spiritual ailments. Shifa was an eager learner, absorbing every word and technique with the keen understanding that this knowledge would one day serve her well. As she grew older, Shifa continued to develop her skills in literacy and healing, but her education was not limited to these areas alone. She was also taught the nuances of social conduct, the importance of integrity, and the value of compassion, traits that would later define her interactions with the community of Medina. One of the most significant influences in Shifa's early life was her exposure to the broader social and cultural environment of Mecca. The city, with its bustling trade routes and diverse population, offered her a window into the complexities of human behavior, society, and religion. Shifa was known to engage in conversations with travelers and merchants, absorbing knowledge about the world beyond her immediate surroundings. Despite the limitations placed on women in her society, Shifa was determined to carve out a space where she could utilize her knowledge and skills. She began to practice her healing arts within her community, earning a reputation as a skilled healer even before the advent of Islam. Her proficiency in ruqyah, coupled with her ability to read and write, made her a sought-after figure among both men and women. Shifa's early life was marked by a thirst for knowledge and a desire to contribute to the well-being of those around her. Her family's support and the unique opportunities she was afforded set the stage for her later achievements. Even before her encounter with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Shif Bint Abdullah had already begun to establish herself as a woman of wisdom and compassion. A meeting with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the city of Medina, the streets were abuzz with the excitement of the new arrival. The air was thick with anticipation as the people of Medina prepared to welcome Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his companions, who had recently migrated from Mecca to escape persecution. This migration, known as the Hijra, marked a turning point in the history of Islam, and the city of Medina would soon become the heart of the growing Muslim community. Amidst the excitement, Shif Bint Abdullah, now a mature and wise woman, felt a deep sense of purpose. Her reputation as a healer and a learned woman had already spread throughout the city, and it wasn't long before her skills caught the attention of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself. The meeting between Shifa and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would become a defining moment in her life, solidifying her role in the early Muslim community. Shifa had heard much about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, from the early followers of Islam. His message of monotheism, justice, and compassion resonated deeply with her, and she was eager to meet the man who had inspired such profound change in the hearts and minds of so many. However, Shifa was not only interested in meeting Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, because of his spiritual leadership. She was also curious about his views on knowledge, healing, and the role of women in society. The day finally came when Shifa was introduced to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The meeting took place in the simple yet welcoming environment of the Prophet's mosque in Medina. As she entered the mosque, Shifa was struck by the humility and serenity that surrounded Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. His presence was calm and reassuring, yet there was an undeniable aura of authority about him. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, welcomed Shifa with kindness and respect, recognizing her as a woman of knowledge and skill. Their conversation began with a discussion about healing and the practices that Shifa had mastered. The Prophet, peace be upon him, showed great interest in her knowledge of ruqyah, the traditional healing practice that involved reciting specific prayers and verses from the Qur'an to cure ailments. He inquired about the methods she used and encouraged her to continue her work, emphasizing the importance of combining physical healing with spiritual well-being. What stood out most to Shifa during this meeting was Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, his respect for her knowledge and the role he envisioned for her in the community. Unlike many men of his time, who might have dismissed or belittled a woman's expertise, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, saw the value in Shifa's skills and sought to empower her further. In addition to recognizing her healing abilities, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, entrusted Shifa with a critical mission: to teach literacy to the women of Medina. The Prophet, peace be upon him, understood the transformative power of education and believed that women, just as much as men, should have the opportunity to learn and grow intellectually. He knew that by educating the women of Medina, he was not only empowering them individually, but also strengthening the foundation of the entire community. Shifa accepted this responsibility with humility and a sense of duty. She recognized the profound trust that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had placed in her, and she was determined to fulfill this role to the best of her ability. The Prophet, peace be upon him, provided her with guidance and support, ensuring that she had the resources she needed to carry out her mission. This meeting marked the beginning of a close relationship between Shifa and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. She became one of his trusted companions, often consulted on matters of health and education. The Prophet, peace be upon him, would frequently send women to her for instruction, knowing that under her tutelage, they would receive both the knowledge and the spiritual guidance necessary to thrive. The trust and respect that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, showed towards Shif Bint Abdullah was a reflection of his broader vision for the role of women in Islam. He saw women as vital contributors to the moral and intellectual fabric of society, and he actively encouraged their education and participation in community affairs. For Shifa, this meeting with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a turning point in her life. It was the moment when her knowledge, skills, and dedication to the well-being of others were fully recognized and utilized in the service of Islam. She would go on to leave a lasting legacy, not only as a healer and educator, but also as a model of the profound respect and opportunities that Islam afforded to women, particularly those who sought knowledge and used it to benefit others. The Healer of Medina. As the community in Medina grew and flourished under the guidance of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Shif Bint Abdullah's reputation as a skilled healer spread far and wide. Her home became a sanctuary of healing, a place where people from all walks of life could seek relief from their ailments, both physical and spiritual. Known as the Healer of Medina, Shifa dedicated her life to serving her community, combining her profound knowledge of traditional medicine with the spiritual teachings of Islam. Shifa's expertise in ruqyah, the healing practice involving the recitation of specific prayers and verses from the Qur'an, was particularly renowned. She had mastered this art from a young age under the guidance of her mother, and she continued to refine her skills as she grew older. In Medina, where the harsh desert environment often led to a variety of illnesses and injuries, Shifa's healing abilities were in constant demand. But Shifa was more than just a practitioner of traditional medicine. She was a pioneer in integrating physical healing with spiritual well-being. She believed that true health encompassed both the body and the soul, and she approached each patient with this holistic perspective in mind. Her methods were not only about treating symptoms, but also about addressing the underlying spiritual causes of illness, drawing upon the teachings of Islam to bring peace and healing to those in need. One of Shifa's most famous cases involved a young woman who had been suffering from severe chronic headaches. The woman had visited numerous healers and tried countless remedies, but nothing seemed to alleviate her pain. Desperate for relief, she sought out Shifa. After carefully listening to the woman's symptoms and the history of her ailment, Shifa began her treatment. She recited specific verses from the Qur'an over the woman, using her knowledge of ruqyah to calm her mind and ease her suffering. However, Shifa didn't stop there. Recognizing that the woman's pain might have a deeper, emotional cause, Shifa spoke with her at length, offering her counsel and guidance. She encouraged the woman to reflect on her spiritual state, to seek forgiveness for any past wrongs, and to strengthen her connection with Allah through prayer and meditation. Over time, the woman's headaches diminished, and she experienced a profound sense of inner peace. Testament to the power of Shifa's holistic approach to healing, Shifa's success stories like this one quickly became the talk of Medina. People came to her not only for physical ailments, but also for guidance in matters of the heart and soul. Her deep understanding of the Qur'an and her ability to apply its teachings to everyday life made her a trusted confidant and advisor. She was known for her compassionate nature, always taking the time to listen to her patients' concerns and offering them the comfort of her wisdom. But Shifa was not content with simply healing those who came to her. She believed that knowledge should be shared, and she made it her mission to teach others the skills she had acquired. She took on students, both men and women, and trained them in the arts of healing and literacy. Under her guidance, a new generation of healers emerged in Medina, equipped with the knowledge and compassion necessary to serve their community. One of her most notable students was none other than Hafsa bint Umar, the daughter of Umar ibn al-Khattab, who would later become one of the wives of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Hafsa, who was known for her intelligence and piety, learned the art of ruqyah from Shifa, and she continued to practice and teach these skills throughout her life. This was a testament to the far-reaching impact of Shifa's teachings, which extended into the highest ranks of the Muslim community. Shifa's contributions to Medina went beyond her work as a healer. She was also deeply involved in the social and spiritual life of the community. She regularly attended the mosque, where she participated in the educational sessions led by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. These gatherings were not only a place of worship, but also a forum for learning and discussion, and Shifa was known for her insightful contributions. Her presence in these sessions highlighted the importance of women's participation in the intellectual and spiritual life of the early Muslim community. One of the unique aspects of Shifa's healing practice was her ability to adapt and innovate. While she remained true to the traditional methods she had learned, she was also open to new ideas and techniques. She often experimented with different remedies and treatments, always seeking to improve her skills and offer the best care to her patients. This spirit of innovation set her apart from other healers of her time and earned her the respect and admiration of her peers. In addition to her work as a healer and educator, Shifa also served as an advisor to the leaders of Medina. Her wisdom and experience made her a valuable resource in matters related to health and social welfare. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself often consulted her, especially on issues related to women and children. Her advice was sought not only because of her expertise, but also because of the trust and respect she had earned through her tireless service to the community. As the years passed, Shifa's legacy as the Healer of Medina grew stronger. She became a symbol of the compassionate and holistic approach to health that is a core tenet of Islam. Her work demonstrated that healing is not just about treating physical symptoms, but about caring for the whole person, body, mind, and soul. She embodied the Islamic principle that knowledge and compassion should go hand in hand, and that true healing comes from a deep connection with Allah. The literacy mission. One of the most significant contributions of Shif Bint Abdullah was her role in promoting literacy among women. At a time when education was largely reserved for men, Shifa broke barriers by teaching women how to read and write. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself supported her efforts, and he often sent women to learn from her. Shifa's literacy mission was not just about teaching the mechanics of reading and writing. It was about empowering women to understand their rights, their religion, and their role in society. Through her teachings, many women in Medina became knowledgeable about Islam and were able to participate more actively in the community. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed this video and found it interesting, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more content celebrating the Islamic heritage. Your support really helps spread these important stories and teachings. We hope that Allah brings peace, happiness, and success to you and your family.